The movie starts at night in Kingston. Linda is at an ATM when she sights a young man approaching her. She quickly withdraws her money and sprays pepper spray in his face. He immediately introduced himself as Jason Sherwood, her student in 2006. She apologizes and offers to take him to the hospital. Still, he refuses because he doesn't want to see his father, who works at the hospital. Jason agrees to follow Linda home and apologizes for startling her on the way. Linda asks about Jason's progress in writing, as he was once amongst her best students, but Jason says he quit writing. He has plans to go to law school since writing isn't working for him. When she arrives at his house, Linda asks to read his play, and he assures her that he'll drop it off at school. Linda is in class the following day when someone slips a brown envelope under the door. It's Jason, and she introduces him to the class. Later that day, Linda is at the gym when she sees Jason's father, Dar Sherwood, and asks him about Jason's play. Dar Sherwood seems unconcerned about his son's writing interest, and Linda says he needs to be more supportive. Linda goes home and reads the play. She is amazed and calls Jason to convince him to return to New York and get the play produced. Jason refuses, but she offers to give the play to a teacher, Mr. Carl Kapnis, who directs school plays. The next day, Linda gives it to Mr. Carl to read. He loves the play and wants to produce it. Linda and Carl proceed to the director's office to present the play for performance. The director, Phil, and his wife, they disagree with the instance of violence, improper language, and the ending is unsuitable for high school kids. Carl assures to tone down the excesses and cut out the ending. However, when they leave, Carl assures Linda that they couldn't cut the play's ending. He only wanted the director to agree first. Later that day, Jason meets Blend at a cafe where she gives him an informal document to sign that he has given this school the right to produce his play. Jason is skeptical that the play will not be produced well, but Linda convinces him, and he signs the document. Days later, Carl, Linda, and Jason meet with the cast. They ask questions concerning their characters, and Jason explains to them that the actions of his characters are based on personal experience. Then one of the cast calls out a scene in the play as trite, and Jason excuses himself. Immediately, Linda scolds the students and pleads with him to return to the set. Days after, while rehearsals are still going on, Dar Sherwood barges into the theater and calls Jason out. He yells at Jason about producing a play when he can instead go to law school. Soon they begin to argue, and when it gets heated, Linda comes out and stops Dar Sherwood from saying any more things, so he leaves. However, Jason has an ulcer attack, and Linda takes him to her classroom where she gives him first aid medicine. Jason thanks her for standing up to his dad, then says he's been quite a bully to his mom before she died, and begins to sob. Linda tries to calm them down, but they start kissing and having sex in the classroom. Soon, Linda begins to feel bad and is scared about what others would say concerning her carelessness. The next day, Linda goes into the theater for rehearsal, and Carl meets her about an extra fee for the props, and she signs him a check. Afterward, Linda summons Jason and explains that they should keep their relationship professional to give their best in the play. Later in the day, Linda is in the gym, and Dar Sherwood tells her that he is mad because Jason lied to him that he was taking LS8 classes for law school alongside the play, whereas he wasn't. Linda doesn't believe him and tells him to do better. With Jason on her way home, Linda calls Jason to tell him about the conversation with his dad, but she hears a lady's voice. It's Halla, one of the casts for the show. She dismisses the topic and hangs up. During rehearsal the following day, Carl meets her for another check. While she's writing it, she sees Jason and Holly messing around. However, Linda summons Holly and tells her to stay away from Jason and other men in her acting career. Holly understands and leaves. Then Linda goes out to get a prop for the male dressing room and sees Holly and Jason make out. She threatens Holly to include her act of immorality on her permanent record and not write her a letter of recommendation. Jason hurries out to beg Linda and assumes she's jealous. Linda breaks the prop on him and storms out, but Will records them behind a car. The next day, Linda gets unnecessary stares after class. She sees insulting words and Holly's glare on her door. Linda covers the writings with a sticker and hurries Phil and Trudy to report Holly for spreading rumors about her. Phil and his wife hurry to the theater to confront Jason and Holly. When Will comes out in a mask and explains it's for the play's ending, where his character commits suicide, Phil is mad that Carl said they would cut off the ending and didn't, but Jason is angrier that he wasn't aware Carl insists he told Linda to include it in the contract. Hallie then shows them the video well recorded of Jason, and Phil fires Linda on the spot. Linda is leaving school and Jason confronts her, but she sprays pepper spray and drives off. Linda gets pepper spray in her eyes. She tries to stop the car and runs into a mailbox. Then the airbag knocks her out. However, Linda wakes up in the hospital and Dar Sherwood is in charge. He checks her and confirms she is okay, and she begins to cry. Linda then confesses that she slept with Jason. Der Sherwood is pissed and leaves. When she's going home, Der Sherwood confronts her about the play, and she calls him out on being a bully and alcoholic, just like Jason had written. Der Sherwood says he doesn't drink, and Jason's mother remarried after the divorce. Days go by and Trudy visits Linda and tells her that Carl had a breakdown and because of stress and she needed to finish off the play. Linda goes to school to continue the direction of the play with a new ending, but Hallie doesn't take it seriously. She says Jason's conclusion is better and storms off shortly after. Linda leaves the school to meet Jason and tells him to write an ending where everyone doesn't die, but he blatantly refuses. Linda goes home and writes a new ending, which the students rehearse. Soon, the day of the play, Carl returns from the hospital, and he and Linda warm them up. They begin the play, and Dar Sherwood arrives and Jason arrives in the end. Jason is mad. Belinda apologizes, however the player receives ovations from the audience, and Der Sherwood commends her work. Linda apologizes for her behavior to Der Sherwood. Days later, Linda continues her life as a school teacher with a modern approach. One afternoon, she meets Dar Sherwood at the library, and he invites her to grab coffee together. While at it, he tells her that Jason is doing well in New Jersey and has written another play. Dar Sherwood thinks Linda is a great woman and asks her to an event, and she agrees. He picks her up and they drive off. Thanks for watching.